My name is Daniel Wynn, and by day I invest in sports cards, but by night I make videos about investing in sports cards. I am the great curator. Join me on my journey to break even in the hobby that we all love.
What's up, everybody? The Great Curator here. Welcome to another video. Today's topic is going to be how to properly value a card, how to determine the valuation of a card when you're trying to make a purchase or trade or transaction, okay? What prompted me to make this video is I've been running into situations where I've been meeting with collectors that have a very narrow mindset in terms of what cards they buy or collect, okay? Based on how they can get those cards or what they can get those cards for. And what I mean by that is, I'll be in a situation where I'm trying to work a deal with somebody and I have a rare, either a 101 or a very low pop card that doesn't have recent comps or no comps at all. And the common objection I'm getting is, man, I really love this card, but I have no idea what it's valued at. So I don't know if I'm overpaying or underpaying, and I feel bad about it and this and that. And we never get a deal done because they're not able to determine the valuation of a card. They don't have that skill set, okay? So today I wanted to kind of point out the flaw in having that and the limitations that will have on your ability to build your collection if you don't have the ability to determine a value of a card without eBay comps. So to determine that, I'm going to use 3 different cards as an example here, and I'm going to walk you through the process that I go through, okay? We're going to use a card, this Kobe 2015 Clear Vision Kobe right here. This has low pop count, okay? And no comparables. We're going to do this 87 Flare Jordan PSA 7, high pop count, 3600, and transacts a lot on eBay. And then we're going to use this very rare Pop 1 Kobe on card auto, 1 comp on this, all right? Before I get into that, let me just tell you guys that when you're building your collection, you can buy the cards that everybody buys. You can buy the Zion PSA 10, the Ja Morant's PSA 10, the Jordan 86 Flares. You can buy all those cards all day long, and you can flip them, you can enjoy them, but bottom line is your collection is going to be boring. You're going to be buying the cards that everybody else has, okay, number 1. Number 2, you're going to be a slave to eBay comps and the price volatility that goes along with that, all right? A problem that a lot of people ran into earlier this year when the market was going down is the value of their cards were tanking because they were connected to eBay. They were connected to the eBay comps. So you may have paid $20,000 for this Jordan card back in February, and because it was transacting so much, that price steadily went down to $7,000. Okay, you took a loss, or you're taking a loss on that. The value of your card disappeared, okay, because it's heavily transacted. All right. So if you can get away from buying these cards that are heavily transacted, that have high pop counts, or that are readily available, and you can buy the rare cards that don't transact as much, then you can insulate yourself from that market volatility. The cards that you see that are making these record-setting auction prices, like that Mike Trout that went for 2.5 million, I think it was, or 3.5 million, the Patrick Mahomes RPA that went for 4.3 million, and even this Jordan card, that PSA 10 that recently went for 830,000, which was in the top 5% of all Jordan cards. The one thing that all these cards that are setting records have in common is that they are rare. They don't transact as much. So the people that are buying these cards, they're not relying on recent comps. They're using their skill set of being able to value that asset for what it is, determining what they think it's valued at, and they're going to purchase those cards. That's what you guys have. That's what I hope that you guys can learn from this video, okay? Don't limit yourself. Don't handicap yourself by only buying cards that have clear comps on eBay, all right? So now you're asking yourself, well, okay, Dan, well, we get that, right? Buy rare cards, everybody knows that, duh. Well, how do you do that? Okay, let me tell you my strategy here, all right? The way that you can determine the value of a card is by understanding the difference between scarcity, meaning pop count, versus demand, okay? And then using eBay comps or any type of comps to add to that, and then looking at all those things together to determine the value of a card, all right? So for example, let's just use this one right here, okay? The 86 Flair Jordan. This pop count on this PSA 7 is 3,600, a little bit over that, all right? High pop count, 3,600 is high pop count. Anything over 100 is a high pop count, all right? Meaning that this card transacts heavily all the time. So the price is gonna fluctuate, it's gonna change, and it's readily available. If I want, I can go on eBay right now and I can buy this same card, all right? But it's Michael Jordan. The subject matter is Michael Jordan rookie card, so you know the demand is there. This has the demand, but it also has the price volatility because of the high pop count, all right? So because of that, this is gonna be a slave to the eBay comps, right? But at least you can get a clear value of this card. You just go on eBay, you determine what the value is, okay? This Kobe Clear Vision, this is a Pop 4. Does not transact much on eBay, all right? So you might get a couple data points. Maybe 3 months ago it went for 300 bucks, and then maybe it hasn't done anything since. Subject matter is Kobe Bryant, so the demand should be there, okay? The scarcity is there, but the card itself, maybe not everybody's looking for a 2015 Clear Vision. It's not an iconic card, okay? So maybe the demand is not what you think it is, all right? So maybe even if the last comp on this was 250 3 months ago, the next person that wants it may not be willing to pay 250 because they value it differently. You know, maybe they're only paying 150 or 100, right? So this has the scarcity, but it doesn't have the demand, okay? This card has the demand, but it doesn't have the scarcity, all right? So you have to be able to compare those two things, all right? Generally speaking, the higher the demand, the less scarce, the more scarcity, the more value it is, okay? The higher the demand, the less scarcity, probably the price is gonna be, you know, even keel with comps, all right? And the lower scarcity but no demand, maybe the price is not gonna be as high as you think it is, okay? So then we look at this, okay, this Kobe card right here. High demand, Kobe on card auto, all right? Low scarcity, Pop 1, only 5 cards in the entire series, all right? There's one comp on this, I think, maybe 3 months ago, whatever it is. But a card like this is where you have to determine the valuation yourself, all right? When cards like this come across your, you know, come across your table, or you have the opportunity to buy rare cards like this, you have to use your skill set and determine the value yourself. You cannot go back off of a comp that happened 3 months ago, because even if that comp was, let's just say, $5,000 3 months ago, does that mean this is a $5,000 card? Think about that. You know, you may never see a card like this pop up again, all right? If you really want this card, are you willing to pay more or less than $5,000? And that's the next part of the equation that you have to ask yourself. Once you determine the demand for the card, once you determine the scarcity of the card, okay, then you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to pay to get that card, okay? If you're the biggest Kobe fan in the world and you want this card, you think it's beautiful and you want to go after it, you're gonna pay whatever you need to pay, whatever is within your means to get this card. If you're buying this card because you're a casual Kobe fan, but you can take it or leave it, maybe you're not gonna pay everything that you can to get this card. You have to make that determination yourself, okay? But the people that are buying those big cards at the record auctions, they recognize that those cards have high demand, have low scarcity, and they value the card based off of that and what they're willing to pay, okay? So the person who bought that Patrick Mahomes card for $4.3 million, obviously they have that within their means to go for it. They see the value of that card, and to them, that card is not worth $4.3 million. To them, that card is probably worth $5-10 million, okay? Because they had that mindset and they're viewing it as undervalued, you know, at that price point. So when you can develop that skill, when you can compare scarcity and demand, and you can determine your own value based off of what you're willing to pay or what you're not willing to pay, then you can open yourself up to opportunities where you can get those rare cards and you can build your collection around that. And two things will happen when you do that. Number one, you're gonna get away from all those boring cards that everybody else is transacting. Those high pop cards like this, like the Zion PSA 10s, you know, the Kobe 1996, Topps rookie cards, those cards are for flippers, Okay, those cards are for people that transact. They buy a card for a little bit less than the comp, then they flip it for 10%, 20% more. Those are for flippers. Real investors, real collectors, they don't bother with that kind of stuff. What they do is they buy the rare cards that they feel that they can get at a good price. They sit on it and they let it increase tenfold, 20-fold, more than that. Okay, and that's what I want you guys to take away from this video. Okay, develop that skill set, round out your collection by buying these rare cards. Okay, and you will be in a better position to protect yourself against the volatility of eBay sales. You'll put yourself in a better position to acquire rare cards and not feel hesitant when you're trying to pull the trigger to acquire them. All right, and you'll just have a better collection overall. All right, so again, in summary, understand the concept of scarcity and demand, okay, versus heavily transacted cards, price volatility, okay, and then use your own determination of what you think a card is valued at. Don't use the determination of what eBay says it's valued at or what somebody else has paid for it in the previous transaction. Determine yourself, what do you think this card is valued at? How much am I willing to pay? All right. Do I think it has room to grow? Once you can kind of train your mind to think that way, then you can start to acquire these rare cards. You're not going to be passing up cards just because you can't find comps, and you will be in a better position to build your collection. Okay, so hopefully you guys found that video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button, please subscribe. Appreciate all the support and feedback. If you have any comments, put them down below. I'll respond to them. No problem. If you want, reach out to me on Instagram at The Great Curator. If you see me at a show, stop by, say hi. I'd love to have a more in-depth conversation about this. But hopefully you guys found some value from this video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.